All right there. All right there. Now, whoa, 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 whoa. I got so much grief yesterday, and Scrubs grief. You know, when it's Scrubs grief and it's aimed at another scrub. I mean, the level of grievance, which I'm assuming is the same root and etymology as grief, surely that's right, isn't it? Grievance and grief. Anyway, when it's a scrub griefing isn't. When it's grief coming from a scrub to a scrub, it's not heavy going. It's usually very polite, friendly, but a point needed to be made by a few people, and that point was, if most of you haven't already guessed, was I promised we'd be reading Bukowski on Wednesday, and we actually on Thursday, and we actually read it on Wednesday. Now, apologies, that was to do with my incredibly busy schedule at the moment. The work I was meant to do last night. Remember, I told you I had to cram 6 hours work into 3 hours after yesterday's stream. Well, I managed to cram no hours work into 5 hours sleep. So that wasn't good. So now after this stream, I've got to get that 6 hours done, and I've got to get it done because I've got a directors meeting, which, as those words would suggest, is the pinnacle of meetings. You know, when you have a staff meeting, not knocking staff, because I have a couple in the chat, but a staff meeting is not the same as a directors meeting. Now, I am the major director, but director number 2 is still a director. And so if this meeting starts and it starts with the other director saying, right, so you've got that work done, first thing I suppose we should do is look at that, and then me go, funny thing about that work that I've had 5 days to do is I went to sleep as usual, waiting for the little elves to come out and get it done. The little marketing elves, which do most of my marketing work, especially my video marketing work. And the first night they didn't do it. You know, they left a few little things around, so I'd know that I think they cleaned the floor. The second night, not a sign of them at all. I imagine they're going through what I'm going through. I imagine my video marketing elves are also quite busy and overstretched at the moment. And last night, do you mind if I just make a cup of tea? Let's get the music sorted. Let's get the grift on. Let's get Twitch sorted. Twitch is sorted. Let's get the grift on. I just wanted to thank you. You've all been very generous recently. We had a really low patch where I was having to consider perhaps streaming once a day because I needed to put that work. We had to really put that work into my real IRL job because of the financial situation. But then suddenly out of the blue, everyone was like, "Yeah," and it was wonderful. So thank you for that. But I'll get the Twitch done. I'll get the grift sorted now. She still hasn't written back to me, Rachel, even though I flirted with her. Dear Rachel, it doesn't seem to be working, my love. I don't know why. That's quite strange. I haven't heard anything back off of Joe from This Is Why We Fight. Now, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt in that she's busy, or she might just not want to get involved in it. I mean, she's seen it. It's got 2 green ticks, which will be a shame because I think this is why we fight. And the Glorious House of Scrubs are both very similar channels, but you don't get to cunt off the Scrubs and there be no consequences. I'm sorry, that's just disrespectful. I wouldn't expect any of my Scrubs to be in someone else's chat or have people from other streams in here being treated like they were. I just wouldn't expect it, and I'd want to deal with it. I'd want to get that resolved. So, but I'm going to cut her some slack. She's probably as busy as me, and I like her channel. I have recommended it. It's 80-90% of the people who watch it are Scrubs, which is why I'd suggest she talks to me, because there's quite an easy little thing there's an easy bit of leverage there that I don't want to get involved with. I like communication, especially with people that I respect. Right, Scrubs done, Grift on. Hang on, let me get this done. Hello, Rags. How are you, son? You all right, mate? Good to see you over there. We got Mozlab on the firm. Here we have. Hello, mate. I hope you're all right, brother. Mozlab's been blowing my mind lately. How someone can change, not everything about their lives, but small aspects of their lives in ways that just benefit them. It just blows my mind. Me and Mozlab are like opposites. We don't in real life. Initialization error close. Well, that's good. In real life, I doubt we'd get on very well, but some miraculous internet sorcery has made him become one of my best online friends, and that really means something to me. Because for a while there, we were almost at each other's throats. And it's this very funny relationship we have. Mozlab is the least likely person to moderate this stream. It's full of the kinds of people that he doesn't get on with. It's hilarious. Anyway, props to you, my friend. Right, it says initiate. I can't even say what it says. But she wasn't joking. Right, let me try again. They are having problems, it would appear, Entropy, which doesn't help anyone except for YouTube. Let's try again. Pause that. We haven't got the error message come up yet. My girlfriend wants me to call her. Let me get that out of the way too. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll do that while the music's playing. You don't have to listen to that nonsense. I don't mean nonsense. It's just not really content. Hark, who goes yonder? There you go. I think we'll have that a little bit longer though. Lovely. Okay, people, you know how this coup works. You can support this channel using the super chat function, which is the $ just down there at the bottom of the YouTube chat. Or alternatively, and preferably, because you don't give YouTube any money and I get taxed half as much, you can use Entropy. I would advise you to use Entropy. I am very, very grateful for super chats, but if you can use Entropy, try and do it. Everyone does better out of it, and YouTube do worse out of it. What could be a better reason to do that? Marzipan has a homer to do this morning. Easy oneer. I haven't got a clue what that means, but it's an easy oneer. Lovely, lovely. Nothing wrong with an easy ton. Right. Their entropy are really cool. They set up. They set up to screw YouTube. They set up to allow people who want to support free speech to still get donations. They're good people. They're worth looking after. And their customer service is brilliant. You write to them, they get back to you in a couple of hours. It's like, whoa, this ain't the internet I know. We'll get a little bit of colour in my cheeks. We've got a few more people turning up, which is nice. Probably have about 200, I'd say, of this tricky midweek show. Yeah, I would pop a bit of that up there. We'll put the white balance down there. We'll do a bit of that, and there you go. That's all lovely. Bit of the blue and a bit of the flesh. Okay, so I'll put the entropy link in the chat again, but remember, it is in the description if you need it. Right, so we're going to have our usual bit of music. Give me 2 minutes. I'll cut the music short, even though it's only 2 minutes. I'll drag a comb across my hair, woke up, got out of bed, dragged the comb across my head. I made my way downstairs and had a smoke, and somebody spoke and I went into a dream. I love the Beatles when they stop singing and the music stops. Okay, it will be an absolute pleasure if you could catch up with me in a couple of minutes. That would be lovely. I'll press that. I'll do that. I'll get that. I'll talk to Entropy about that audio as well, because that happened so much yesterday. It was madness. And I will see you in a couple of minutes. Hang on, that's too much guitar. See you in a couple of minutes. Let me get a cup of tea and comb my hair. What else are you going to see? You're going to see me old man's pants, which is a bit of a problem because the red sac syndrome occasionally makes an appearance. No looking out for it, ladies. Ta-da! Nearly made it. Apologies. Right, now I've got to try and play the game of getting the label of the tea bag, of the last tea bag. Remind me to get some tea bags out of my tea. Now, I don't even know if there was one in there. Did anyone see the label? Or am I just burning the tips of my fingers here for nothing? And it also means using the long length. The long length. Oh, come on. I don't want to get to the bottom of the tea and have that little bit of paper in there doing my nothing. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be with. Even using the long length technique, absolutely nailed it. Let me just make sure I don't lose it at the last minute. You beauty. I even bought a disposal bowl and missed. So. New product from a in real life job, over the moon. And guess what? Before we deal with those super chats who don't like to be on the entropy, I will just show you what else the little work gnomes brought for me. Remember I told you about those red back boots? Remember? They arrived today and I couldn't be happier. Because out here, it's my dress shoes or a pair of flip-flops. And occasionally I don't want to wear a pair of flip-flops, especially out on the motorbike. So I got a nice, decent pair of boots. They were judged the best boots to get by the bloke who cuts the boots in half. Not expensive either, $120. 120 Australian dollars, that is. So over the moon with them. I reckon I'll get looked after. I reckon I'll get about 10 years out of them. And 10 years out of them, you know, what's that work out about? $8 Australian dollars a year. Can't go wrong with that, can you? Cannot go wrong with that. Right, where are we? Couple of entropies. We'll deal with the entropies all later so we can look at them all at once and not do everyone's head in. Right. Dawn Browning, the lovely Dawn Browning. You don't seem like your usual self lately, Chris. Is it Mrs. D moving to town? Is she working again? No, she's not fucking working again. Jesus Christ. We love you to bits, Chris. You have our emails if you need to chat. That's absolutely lovely, Dawn. That's absolutely lovely for you to reach out and tell me that. But I think I've already told you what the issue is. Oh, I forgot to ring the missus. The issue is I'm trying to cram too much work into too little space. Now, I only sleep 4 hours a night usually. I had 9 hours the other night. And so something is happening. You are right to observe something is happening. My in real life job went mental because of Brexit. And there's about 8 projects coming to fruition. Now, my in real life job is my retirement. If my in real life job fucks up, disappears, goes down the Swanee like loads and loads of businesses are because of the coof, because of the common cold, I'm going to have to start again from scratch. And have I got that in me at my age? Maybe. You know, I'm certainly not going to be able to buy an house in Cambodia on my YouTube donations. That's not meant as an insult. That's just a reality. So that is a lot of stress, and stress does me. You know, I lived 2/3 of my adult life as a what would the word be? A relentless and brutal drug addict. And when I went and had all my bloods and heart and kidney and when I had the well man check, which I needed to have for the ibogaine at 44, I think I was, my doctor said, you've got the body of a 30-year-old. He said, I don't know how you've done it. And I said, yoga and water, doctor, yoga and water. But stress will do you. Stress will do you. Stress kills more people than anything else. And when people say, well, that's hardly true, look at cancer compared with stress. Yeah, why do you think you get cancer? Well, that's hardly true. Look how many people have had car crashes. Yeah, why are people crashing their cars? Well, that's hardly true. Look at the amount of people who die from alcoholism. Yeah, why are they drinking so much? So stress is sort of like the center of the cyclone. It's the center of the web that feels the vibrations from around it and then goes out and grabs them, and then it's death. So look at this. Without trying to be a martyr, I do an hour to 2 hours stream in the morning. I do an hour to 2 hours stream in the evening. That's 4 hours. So it's usually between 3 and 5, you know. The other morning I done a 2 hours and 40 minute stream. And then another 2 hour one later, hour and a half one later. Then there's my in real life job where I am the director, which means that when there's problems, the buck stops with me. You know, someone can complain to someone else. The bookkeeper can complain to the other director. The other director can complain to the logistics manager. The logistics manager can complain to the dispatch officer. The dispatch officer, this can keep going around in circles until they realise, oh, Muggins over there, the bloke that's got his head in his hands because he's doing too much. Oh, now I've got to do it. Now I've got to ring this person up. I've got to do this. I've got to do blah, 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 which is all right. That's what running a business is. On top of that, I want to get this novel finished. As you know, it's been a lot of hard work. I've just rewritten the first 50 pages, which is brilliant because I write chronologically. So when I sit down to write a novel, I start off at the beginning and I keep writing until the end. But when you rewrite the first 50 pages, those other 300 pages now need adapting and adjusting because there's been changes at the beginning, and that's put a lot of work on me. So there's the YouTube, there's the in real life job, there's the novel, there's the books of short stories that I'm also working on. There's about 6 projects at work that the clock's ticking, tick, 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 tick. And if you don't get them done, your competitors put you out of business. So you've got to get them done. Because if I fuck up with my business, I have to turn around to my missus one day and say, you know, I've never loved anyone like I love you. And you know you've never loved anyone like you love me. And you know it's like paradise being together. I've got to go back to England and shack up with my mum because I've got no money. Sorry, love, it's over. I can't have children with you. I can't build you an house out here. I ain't got a pot to piss in. Sorry. So that's quite stressing. So what I'm trying to do is, as I said yesterday, I'm trying to regulate my stress a bit better. I'm trying to regulate my time off a bit better. I'm trying to say, right, when you sit down to do 3 hours writing, do 2. When you sit down, like last night, when I sat down last night ready to cram 6 hours into 4 hours. And you know what I done instead? I went to sleep. And so I'm on it. And so I appreciate that, Dawn. I haven't been my usual self lately. I would also like to say I have put out some cracking streams. The one the other morning when I said to the Scrubs, put a 1 in the chat if you think that was one of the best streams ever, and there was like 60 or 70 odd ones. So I am still managing to perform. So I hope there isn't a hint there that the glorious House of Scrubs is going down the pan, because that would be awful. I am also going on Teddy Dutton's show. I am also going on Semi-Agog's show twice. Teddy Dutton's going to be great, isn't it? Professor Teddy Dutton and Semi-Agog's show twice. And I was on iHypocrite's show twice. So that's all nice. That tells me, the other day I was talking about metrics, numbers of people watching the streams, super chats and entropies. Well, that's another metric when people invite you on their show. And I haven't been invited on anyone else's show for years. And I'll tell you why. It was because I was a nationalist. And that's poisonous. It's poisonous to people's channels. It's poisonous to people's reputation. You turn up in the Times saying that you're grooming Nazi children. And that's why I told you. Remember, I told you I got rid of all the content I had on my channel that was anything to do with race, anything that was reactive. Look at this. Look at these people, what they're doing. Because that is toxic in their eyes. And I thought it's got to be a different kind of thing. So what do we do here now? We give out advice. We talk as a community. We talk about looking good. We talk about getting healthy. We talk about accepting things. We talk about growing. And we talk about the value of community. And you've just proved that there, Dawn. So thank you very much. And I do have your emails if I need to chat. And you'll be surprised, I do chat. I have got some friends. I do have friends, and we do talk. You can imagine talking to Paul Mumford about your problems is a complete and utter waste of time. Oh, that first swig of tea in the morning is just wonderful. Little Bullet. Chrism. Don't forget to get some tea bags. Thanks, mate. But see if you can drop that. When will I be going to Super Duper later? See if you can drop that in about 3 o'clock in the morning Cambodian time. Oh, this is the other thing. Teddy Dutton said, can you do about 7 o'clock UK time? So I'll be starting at about 2 o'clock in the morning. 2-hour show. Thanks. That'll help me rest. Thank you, Little Bullet. Right, did we have any more come through? Let me just check. I don't want to miss any. Whoa! Ollie Oliver joined the firm. Nice to see you, Ollie Oliver. Nice to have you on board. But, look, it is the truth. It is the truth. Hang on a minute. Oh, naughty Nora's stirring things up. Why would you wear boots in a tropical country? Well, because it ain't a developed country. You haven't got like lovely pavements everywhere that you can just pitter-patter in your flip-flops along. They're dirty, they're uneven, there's bits sticking up, there's bits your feet fall into. It's not very humid out here either, so they won't all be wet inside, And a lot of people wear boots out here. A lot of people, you see a lot of people working out here in boots. Nah, they'll do me proud. when I've been on holiday, when I was out in a working holiday in Venezuela, and when I used to go out to Thailand, I'd have a decent pair of boots on because they last. They're strong. And sometimes if you go out at night and you're coming back home, you want to have a little bit of protection. This is something that women think that men don't have to think about this, whereas men get the shit kicked out of them more than women. Men get attacked more than women in the real world. And so you have to think about that. If I'm going out with my missus for a few hours and we might have to jump out of a tuk-tuk because the road's closed or something, I don't want to have to be putting my foot into someone's groin in a pair of flip-flops. I want to let him know. I want his bollocks to come out the top of his head. So, that's why I wanted a pair of boots. And also they'll last. They'll last 10 years. That's eight Australian dollars. So it's about £5 a year. Lovely. So there you go. No, it's not a strange thing, Laura. You see a lot of it. Because like I said, for me, it's dress shoes. Am I going to wear my £600 Crockett and Jones dress shoes out every day? With a suit, yeah. With a pair of shorts and a T-shirt, no. Can I chuck a pair of boots on? And they're easy ons. They're not lace-ups or anything. So they're easy ons, they're easy offs. And I'll be fine. And don't forget, we have a rainy season. And the problem with a rainy season and flip-flops is your feet get soaking wet. So when you come in your house, you take your flip-flops off and then you walk your wet feet all through your house with your little black footprints because you picked up dirt and shit from walking around out in Cambodia. Come in with your boots on, slip them off on the little mat at the door, walk around take your socks off, walk around in your dry feet. Oh yeah. Thank you, European Housewife. They are. I'm really happy with them, and I'm not a fan of buying footwear online. Does it need saying? Does it need saying that I am into my male footwear, but I'm not a fan of buying male footwear online, especially since it has to go from wherever it's being delivered, which in this case, those cases was Australia to England and then England to Cambodia. I won't bother explaining why because it's a very contrived story, but it's not me getting it wrong, it's me getting it right. But so the problem is if they don't fit, I've got to then FedEx them back at about 40 quid. Then they've got to be FedExed back to Australia at about 40 quid. So it all starts adding up. But I pulled my socks on. I pulled them in using those lovely 2 pulls they've got on them, and they felt absolutely lovely. John Palmer likes them. He's got a few pairs, not that colour though. Yeah, I nearly went for the darker brown, but I thought out in this country they suit the colour of the. I mean, if I can show you out that window, this never works. But can you see out the window? You can see that colour on those trees. You can see that colour on those steps going up. You can see that colour out there. That sort of sandy colour is quite prevalent, prominent in these parts. So there you go. And I'll tell you what, Nora, I'm surprised the soldier asked me that, because if you get posted somewhere hot, you put your flip-flops on and get out and do your training or your combat engagement. See how you get on. People, I am going to have to ring my missus just to tell her I'm streaming, and I'll call her back in a minute. And watching her do her best to pretend that she's not pissed off I'm not even going to ask her to say hello, my friends, because she's going to be pissed. Because she's already rung me twice this morning. I've already given her excuses because I was doing something. Oh, no, without a doubt, they're dealer boots. Yeah. Darling, my love, my beautiful angel, my AC Lala. I'm making a video right now. I'll call you probably in about 40 minutes, okay? You okay? Sure. Okay. Hang on. See me tomorrow. Goodbye. That's the same as I sleep. So we're not gonna talk on the telephone until tomorrow, no? Okay. There's something I need to tell you. You're the most beautiful woman in the world. Yeah. I'll talk to you later. Bye, love. Good lucky with streaming. No, what is it? Good lucky with video. Yeah, they are. Do as you likey boots. They certainly are. Yeah, they're redbacks. Exactly that, Linda. They're redbacks. Made in Australia. Yeah. Yeah, there is certainly a touch of that about it. There is certainly a touch about it. That accidental champagne. I mean, this is the problem with any substances. This is the main problem with any substance. Hello, Alan. You all right, son? Here's the main problem with any substance. Hello, love. I'm just going to go out and have a couple of beers with John. I thought you said you weren't going to be drinking for a while because of what happened last time. Yeah, but I ain't getting shit-faced. I'm not on a binge. I'm not on a full one. I'm just going to have a couple of beers and have a chat. And the intention is real. The intention is true. However, this is the what we could call the substance paradox. You go to the bar with the intention of having 2 because you don't want to have 10 and cause the absolute mess you caused last time, nearly destroyed your family. So you have your 1 pint and you think, I'll make that last about 40 minutes. I'll nurse that one. 10 minutes later, you've got 1 mouthful left and you think, fuck me, that went down a bit repeatophile. So you put that one down. Another one of those, please, love. And then you get the buzz. Then you get the glow. We used to call it the glow. And you're like, oh, I like that. Because it's taken pressure off you. It's removed traumas. It's removed anxieties. It's made your brain less clever. And when your brain ain't so clever, your brain can't work out the realities of the struggles of life. And you think, oh, I like this. I wish life was more like this more of the time. I'll just have another one, though. I did tell the missus I'd just have a couple, get home, watch a movie with her, get an early night, be up all right for work in the morning. Got quite a big project on. Next one turns up. Couple of mouthfuls. Now the glow's right on. Now your eyes have changed shape. You look at your mate and your mate's just got that smile that you've seen him have since you were teenagers. And it makes you laugh and it makes him laugh and you ain't even said anything and you're both giggling. And then suddenly that pint's gone. You don't even remember drinking it. You do not remember drinking it. I mean, you've been putting it to your mouth. You've been laughing, you've been talking, but you don't remember drinking it. You'll be like, what the fuck is that? Who drank that? But since I don't remember drinking it, I'll get another one. I'll just get another one that I can actually, there's not much difference between 2 and 3, is there really? I'm a grown man. I'm 86 kilos. It's not much difference between 2 or 3. And considering I hardly registered drinking it, I'll enjoy the next one. I mean, what? I've been out an hour now. I'll make the next one last an hour or so, and then it'll be ready to go home. Watch a movie with the missus. So you get the third one, and that's it now. All those good intentions, all that, I'm only going to have 2. You meant it. You meant that. You honestly meant you were only going to have 2. But this is the substance paradox. Because decisions made before the substance engaged fail to register once the substance is engaged. Because now you're not thinking in the same way as you were before. Now you're thinking, fuck it. Fuck it. She's meant to be my wife, not my fucking mother. What is all this? You can only have 2. She didn't even say that, by the way. She just said, I thought you weren't going to go out and get shit-faced for a while because of that drama last week. That's all she said. It's actually called care. But it's actually called compassion and care. Some may call it love. But now you're in the pub on your 3rd pint. It's like, who does that bitch think she is? My mother. I'll drink whatever I want. Now you're on 3.5 pints. Now you're throwing things at people. Now you're literally grown man buying packets of peanuts to see who you can hit across the bar, while you and your 45-year-old mate are trying not to giggle when it pings off the back of some bald old bloke's head, and he turns around and you're both like, and you might as well be Beavis and Butthouse now. Butthouse? You might as well be Beavis and Buttface. Is it? I can't even remember. And before you know it, you're 9 pints down. Now you're in the kebab shop. And now you're buying some of the most vile food that is in this country, that has been deliberately tampered with, because the majority of them don't like us. They like our daughters in Minecraft. And then you get home 4 hours later. You ain't answered the phone for 2 hours. Why does she keep hassling me? I'm only trying to have a drink. I work 5 days a week. What does she do? Sit around in her pajamas looking after 5 children? Hard. I work a fucking oil rig. That's real work. I'd like to see her do that. Yeah, I'd like to see you look after 5 kids, mate. And so then he gets in and she's like, you're so drunk. How much money have you spent? That money's got to last until your next 6 months on the rigs. Why do you always give me so much mouth? I've had a great time down the boozer with John. First thing I'd get when I come in from you is fucking yap, yap, yap. I was just asking, how's John? How's John? You don't even like him. Yeah, I do. John's all right. I think I knew John before you. Oh, I knew John before you. You fancy him now, do you? What? What's going on here? Ah, fuck it. I'm sleeping on the sofa. And that happens so many times in so many people's life on the back of an honest intention to have 2 beers. It's the substance paradox. You cannot maintain your intentions when your intentions involve taking mind-altering chemicals. By definition, they alter your mind. Give me a 1 in the chat if what I just said, if you recognize anything that I just said. Give me a 1 in the chat if you recognize anything I just said. A nice one, Ollie, as well, mate. I know I said it once, but I'm going to say it again. There they are. There they are. And I'm not just talking about booze here. Amazing, isn't it? What a world. Gammon Sandwich says, can I be honest? Gammon Sandwich, that's the one thing you don't have to ask around here. The thing you have to ask around here is, can I be deceptive? And you'll be told no. But can I be honest? I have seriously never been very drunk in my life. I get to tipsy and decide I don't like the sensation. Good. Because you've got nothing to hide from. You don't need to medicate yourself. You prefer who you are when you're not medicated. It's medicine, alcohol. You don't need that feeling. You don't need the what's that phrase they use? The social lubrication. You don't need it. You're a man. You can actually talk to people without requiring to be made stupider by killing brain cells and turning off parts of your brain. Nah, fair play to you, Gammon Sandwich. I remember once I had my smack dealer around my house, right? He was a good friend of mine. Yeah, sounds weird. But he used to sell me 9 bars of smack. A 9 bar is 9 ounces. An ounce is 28 grams. So it's a fair amount of gear. How much would I pay for that at the time? What would that have been? And it hardly matters. Anyway, sorry about the microphone all over the face. Anyway, he's thrown the bar down. First thing is I've got to test it. I ain't giving him any money if it's jank. I ain't giving you $2,000 for 9 ounces of gravy. So I've whipped a bit out of it, shot it up. Lovely. Stroke awful. And I went, yeah, no, nice one. I went, you want me to knock you one up while we were here? Like, jokingly, because he doesn't touch the stuff. Never touched anything. And he said to me, no, he went, never been interested. He went, I've never done any drugs. He went, I don't even drink. He said, tell a lie. He said, if it's my birthday or something, I'll tell someone to buy me a half a lager, half a Foster's or something. And he says, and it'll be sat down in front of me, and I'll have like 1 or 2 sips just to join in. And I remember looking at him in my little grotty, junky flat with my heroin dealing life, my fridge with nothing in it, my bed that folded into the cupboard. I looked at him and I thought, I would love to be you. I would absolutely love to be you. Absolutely no interest in substances whatsoever. 2 weeks later, he got shot. 20 years later, I'm still alive. I'm only joking because he survived it. Yeah, one of his own customers went round and robbed him. He opened the door and they just went bosh, thinking he was going to fall over and they were going to tread over him and find his money and his product. Nah, man. The geezer weighed about 130 kilos. That little 9mm probably bounced off him. Barely knocked him over. He'd give him a right slapping. There you go. Plastic African says, why are you describing what everyone knows? Fucking hell. Did everyone know what I was describing? Did everyone know what I was describing? A peculiar thing to say. You know, sometimes when you tell stories, you do it for the identification. You do it so that people can identify with what you're saying. It's the knowing of the story that makes it funny. It's the identification that makes it worthwhile. You know, I'm not always necessarily here teaching you. This isn't some pedagogic half hour. I sometimes just want you to enjoy yourselves, and occasionally that can be a bit of identification. Fucking hell, Plastic African, that seemed a bit cuntish. Good lord. Yeah, yeah, it shows. Well, there you go. And I would expect there would be a few more people like that as well. But, you know, good lord. There you go. Mr. Massachusetts said, lol, this is so accurate. He enjoyed the fact that he knew what I was talking about. Sometimes that's what it's about. You know, when you go and see a comedian and they tell you something that you know, it's funny because you know it. Good lord. Jack Haydrick, my friend. Yesterday you accused someone of being Jewish and put a Jewish flag there like a warning. Now let me tell you something. We don't hate anyone here. I don't hate the Jews. I don't hate the blacks. I don't hate Islam. I don't hate any other group. I don't. Nor do most of the scrubs. And they've heard me say this enough times that I've filtered out the ones that do. What I do love, what I do is love my own people and want them to have an ancestral homeland. And I think it makes us stronger to be a movement of love rather than a movement of hate. Because when you're a movement of hate, you become a target of the media. And the media is a very, very, very strong weapon of the globalist machine. Now, this is how it works around here. I don't want an apology from you. Not that I was going to get one. But if that happens again, you'll be gone because it's not required. But you're welcome to be here and you're welcome to argue that point. But I don't need warning that people are Jewish. We had Jeffrey Sharla on here. Jeffrey Sharla is a hero of mine. He wrote a book called Addiction is a Choice. And a hero of mine became a friend. He's now got leukemia. And someone emailed me and said, you know that Jeffrey Sharla is a Jew? It would have only taken 2 minutes to Google it. Yeah, I already knew. It just didn't affect me. Because I don't think Jeffrey Sharla has got much to do with the demographic replacement of Europe. So bear that in mind, Jack. You're more than welcome here. But this isn't a place of hate. This is a place of love. We're back on that one, are we? I think the sun's gone in again now, though. Are you talking about an ex-girlfriend of yours? Good Lord, when? Who? What story? I wasn't, but, you know. Oh, what? The one about the woman that when you come home, I've had those arguments sober. No, I'm not. I'm not. I wasn't talking about a person in particular. I just know it, the point I was making was substances change your good intentions. I've had those arguments sober. It's brilliant. What have we got a 1 in the chat for? What am I missing? What's the 1 in the chat for? The first one I can see is John saying, yeah, it resonates. But I don't. And then there's a load more 1s, but I'm not sure what they're for. Oh, yeah. It was me. Oh, yeah, it was me. When I asked for anyone who's can identify with anything I said. Yeah. Cool. Fair point. Charles Bukowski was born into the Jewish faith. Well, his paternal grandmother was Jewish, but I don't give a shit. You know. Charles Bukowski is nothing to do with the demographic replacement of the European peoples. Nice to see you, Ed. Nice to see you, Ed. Who asked for a 1? Right, listen, I've got to show you some things. I want to show you some I want to show you the Johari window, because I think the Johari window is actually about individuals and their functioning groups, and it was originally developed for group therapy, but it is quite an incredible thing which can also help us as individuals, but it can also help us as when we build communities, and it also works with nations. So I want to have a look at I've got 2 videos to show you, and I want to show you both. I want to show you both of these interpretations, should I say, or explanations. Move over, Overton. Yeah, it's all about the Johari now. It's called the Johari because it was invented by someone called Joe and someone called Hari. First or second names I can't remember. I think one of these says about it. But I want you to watch these two descriptions of what the Johari window is, and then I'm going to talk about it in terms of America, about how America is happening, what's going on with the Beijing Biden at the moment. So let's have a look at one of these first. Now pay attention to these, because you'll understand a bit about yourself, rather than not only about how you operate in a group, how you operate among friends, how you operate in communities and in families, because all this stuff is important to nationalists. But it also no, Dangerfield isn't. Dangerfield is a gypsy name. Here we go. So have a look at this. It's interesting. It really is, and it's especially interesting when we start using it when we look at nations. Okay. And there's an absolute salt that you'll see at the beginning, but you don't get much of her because that would be ridiculous. So this is one explanation of the Johari window. Good Lord. Can I just pause it there? Right, have a look at this. Only a couple of minutes.
It's shown as a box with 4 separate areas. There are also 2 axes, ask and tell. The upper left of the box is called the open area. This represents information you know about yourself, as well as the things others know about you. For instance, you might have shared your employment history with your team. The upper right of the box is called the blind area. This area represents information others might see in you, but you might not see in yourself. For instance, you might have low self-confidence. Others can see this, but you don't realize it. The hidden area is the lower left of the box. This is what you know about yourself, which others don't know. This might include personal information that you want to keep from the people you work with. It can also include information that you should share if you want to build more trust with people. The bottom right of the box is the unknown area. This represents the information that no one, including yourself, knows about you. If you want to build trust with people in your team, you should aim to enlarge the open area. To do this, you share appropriate personal information. You also get feedback from others, so you learn new things about yourself. This builds trust in your relationships and promotes open communication.
I just want you to hear that last bit again, because although the Johari window was originally conceived of for group therapy, it's frequently used in businesses, in how to make businesses function better. And when something has moved into the corporate realm, you can tend to trust it, because if you're in a group therapy, okay, you might feel a bit better at the end of the day. But if it's being used in a corporate setting and the bottom line is increasing, well, happy days. But look how she says you increase the open area. Look at the way she describes how you become better at communicating. Check this bit out.
Team, you should aim to enlarge the open area. To do this, information that you should share if you want to build more trust with people. The bottom right of the box is the unknown area. This represents the information that no one, including yourself, knows about you. If you want to build trust with people in your team, you should aim to enlarge the open area. To do this, you share appropriate personal information. You also get feedback from others, so you learn new things about yourself. This builds trust in your relationships and promotes open communication. However, you need to avoid disclosing personal information that could damage people's respect for you. Now read the article that accompanies this video and learn.
No, you don't need to read the article that accompanies that video. So that's the first one, and I'm going to show you another one now because it comes at it from a slightly different perspective. But again, understand how this went from group therapy to corporations, and understand it's about how we improve our ability to get on with other humans in groups. This is all about collectivization. This is all about working with other humans. And I'll tell you why this is relevant. Because as we have been talking in the last, 5 or 6 weeks now, since Biden got hold of it, we have been talking about how they've humiliated our people. We have been discussing ground level, concrete examples of how they have ruined us, of how they have humiliated us, of how they have imposed things on us, of how they've taken things away from us. So if we can start looking into ideas where we can start rebuilding those relationships, finding techniques and strategies where we can become stronger as groups, we can only do well about it. But again, I want to have a look at this in view of America in a minute. So that's why I want you to have a look at another one. It's 4 minutes, but bear with me. We've got 170 people. We can circle back to it, Mr. Tyler. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. I got your email. Hopefully you got mine by now. So let's have a look at this. Plastic African says, "Danger, my man. What is working with humans? Do we get that? Wait, class doesn't care about one's fucking race." I don't know. I don't know what's happening with you. I am so fuming. About what? About what? Tell me what. Do you want to come on and tell me what you're fuming about? I don't know why you're all over the shop today. So I'm trying to explain to you techniques that have proven themselves in the therapeutic and corporate environments. All right, he does want to come on. Here we go. No one else bother coming on, or I'll just have to click you out. So here we go. It's in the chat, Plastic African. Well, if I know Plastic African well, so if it is a fake profile, it will be sent off. Yeah, yes, I did. Scorries, madness. Go on then, Plastic. You've got about 10 seconds to sort it out.
Hello?
Hello, brother.
Can you hear me?
Of course I can hear you, and
Hi.
it's a pleasure to hear your wonderful voice.
Oh, thank you.
Have you
I
got an
appreciate it.
echo or anything?
I hope not. Do I?
No, I'm asking you.
No, not at all. Not at all. I don't. Oh, shit, man. My phone might be going downhill, but I'm here
You're all
still.
right. So why are you fuming? I don't understand.
Okay.
Maybe I've
So,
got you out of context.
no. I just want to like kind of clear up a lot of things that a lot of people are misconstruing about society or Western society or all this shit about how we need to make reparations for people. Because there's a lot of like nuance between like, oh, well, we didn't make any money. So I've had a lot of like, I was called a racist tonight, like proper. And I'm not. But it's from a guy that rocks up. He's fucking clever little kid. He's not too younger than me, but has issues with his own family. Are you still here? Hello? Where's Danger gone? I don't even know.
Sorry, I turned my mic off. Yeah, I'm still here. Still here. I just had to do
Oh,
something.
sorry. So
Sorry, mate.
I'll give you the straight beef is that it's like he believes there should be reparations for Africans. And I was trying to say, like, how do you gauge that? And then he went to say, well, the Jews got reparations, the
Does he
Chinese got
mean?
reparations. No, the Chinese got reparations, and we require reparations.
Does he mean black Africans?
No, American mainly. I think he was going for American Africans. You know.
Okay.
Not. You know, I was telling him like straight, like, well, what do you? You know, he is black African, but he's British. You know, he's like a Nigerian, quite a posh kid as well. Like you know how they are.
I know plenty of them. Yeah.
Yeah, but he has this fucking attitude that's like becoming so demonstrative to who I think he should be, or it's angered me to think that now people are believing this shit, this rhetoric they're telling us. You know that we were this sort of bane of the world, and it's not that simple. It's not
No.
that easy to say. You know, god damn, there's so much growth in everything that all civilizations have had to go through to get to here. Some of
Sure.
us, you know what I mean,
Sure.
and it just pisses me off in seeing that. And again with your shit about people getting high, drunk. You've been bad places, haven't you?
I certainly have.
Yeah. So you have that understanding, and you've got through it. And I bet you know people that never got through that
Sure.
ever. Yeah. So you know how of the British, the Americans, our society is bad. How can this you know this mainstream media, this education, everything having to how's it got this bad? You know,
Yeah.
I just don't know anymore, Danger. I swear, man. I don't know where
Hey.
it's gonna go. We locked up. We told we can't do this, we can't do that. You know, freaking industries are fucking up right here. There's a couple of industries that set up in Britain because of people that can cook in their homes. Yeah, all
Yeah.
around the country, so they can make like jams and some foods and whatever, and then they can ship it out or whatever. Now they're going to stop that instantaneously because COVID. That's a lot of fucking. That's a whole new market they're going to crack into
Yeah,
because of COVID.
they're gonna regulate a
Well, they can't
solution
regulate it.
out
They
of
can't regulate it,
existence.
can they? Because nobody wants to do spot checks in your yard, in your business, you know. Mm,
But listen, my friend, listen.
yeah,
It's always been it's always been a fight for resources. That's what the history of humanity is. It's been a fight for resources, and I think we're just in another 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 sort of era where we're fighting for resources, and all this reparations stuff. They found this very slim window where they said, well, the white people had slaves, they need to give money back. But you've only got to move that window a little bit further back, and you get the Ottomans who came to England and
but,
took slaves from England.
but again, this guy I was speaking to and what he's clearly reading doesn't care about that.
Exactly.
All they care about is what we took from them. And
Yeah.
I tried to explain how far can your bloodline go, my friend. And he's like, "Oh, I have a white name. I was given a white name. It's all this." And I said, "Yeah, but I have a Jewish name. You know,
Yeah.
it's just anglicized, as they say. So what's the fucking difference? You know?" And it's that they can't accept. Where were your trucks? Where were your? I know it's harsh to say, but you can't base that the cradle of humanity was Africa, thus Africa created the world and civilization. That's a sort of kind of nuance it's going to. It's like, what? Where's
I
this
mean,
going, my friend?
it almost suggests the opposite. The cradle of humanity kind of failed. So everyone got the fuck out of there so that they could build civilizations.
Well, God knows how old, again, the living rock that we stand upon is, and how much of what we can dig under that, or we told at least, You've got LiDAR, there's all sorts of new fucking technology. Musk, crypto. What's crypto again? That's another way of actually taking it into a new market. It's taking away from this old thing. There's another flip coming, bro. Everyone's worrying about reparations. I'm like, what reparations? Corn? You want some corn, watermelon, or Bitcoin? It's true. It's
You want
true.
some
Because
corn? Because those
yeah,
dollars ain't going to be
yeah,
worth
yeah, you
wiping
can be
your ass
shit. Yeah,
off soon.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. I even trying to explain like, will they make like some sort of I don't know, an AOC what do they call it when you got a bunch of people together they have to talk about crap. Come on, everyone
So
knows
I
that
can't
we
help
pay
you
for
on
so
that
much.
one.
Well, when we all have these injunctions or what do they call them, inquiries, all that sort of shit. I said, like, you reckon they'll cost 20 billion to get it ready, and then like 20 billion later, and then you'll get your reparations 50 years from now.
Well, you actually make an amazing point because
Yeah,
once they start investigating, and
exactly.
once the
What does it mean?
details start coming about, it's going to be like a game of Monopoly where we all end up paying each other off. and we all end up back where we started. You know, there's going to, well, you owe us this. Yeah, but this happened. Well,
Yes,
yeah, but this happened.
audit.
So,
You're getting audited, aren't you?
yeah.
How much of your community is taken out of this? How much have they got from this? And all that sort of, you know, hello. Where's that going to go? Fucking ridiculous, man. It's like
But listen,
yeah, sorry.
it feels to me like, and I only say this out of respect because we've talked a lot over the years. It feels to me like it's got to you today. It's got to you, and it gets to us all occasionally. It gets to us all occasionally. I'm not patronising you. I'm not saying it doesn't mean anything when it gets to you.
Not at all. Danger. I mean, amen, bro. It's got to me probably because, like, I'm far right. You know what I mean? Like, what? I'm far right because what? Why? Because I care about a country, Britain. Because I have an idea about the way our law system has, you know, how everything has come from. When people go like, "Why do you give a shit about Christ?" or you know, you go like, "It's judo." Well, why is that? Because you know, the world was so complicated with many gods, and here we go. And then again, how complicated it becomes. It doesn't matter between the power structure. It's what we have, or why it works. We got there through that. So how to try? I tell people that it's going to be broken down now in front of us, and it's happening in front of us, and no one really gives a shit.
I think people don't give a shit because they're buying into the illusion because it's easier. They're being offered. There's you know I've been talking about there's two versions of events. There's what's happening, and then there's the illusion we're being presented with. Historically, propaganda had power over reality. You could give people enough propaganda and it would blind them from reality. So they only had that one option. But because of the internet, essentially, which is smashing the mainstream media, we're now in a position where they're blatantly lying. Here's what's happening.
No, dude, you know, grew up in South Africa. The richest man on earth is a South African.
There
and
you go.
Still, he's playing funny games with Bitcoin, Dogecoin, all sorts of fucking shit. He's like, you know, rocking the boat there, isn't he? Going, yeah, come on. Is he rocking the boat or is he making a point? Or is the system that we're living under now changing completely that we're not going to have these options anymore? Because that's it. Because the world market is collapsed. Bang. And then that's what we're seeing here. It's just like 1929. Maybe World War III we've been fighting for the last 30 years.
Oh no, I agree. Well, no. Since 1945, since 1950, we've been fighting World War III. We're in a state of pure war. I think I agree with you there for sure. But I'm really optimistic, and I'm not only optimistic because optimism helps, but I'm actually seeing things crumble around us. I'm actually seeing power structures that have controlled proletariats for decades, for centuries. I'm seeing them falling apart, and I really am.
But I hope we have strong men to understand what we got. You know.
Well, we do have strong men. I'm talking to one of the strongest men I've ever met at the moment.
Thank you. But more than that, like gripping fuck. Seeing young kids, man, without man, I don't even want to talk about it. How bad it is for them.
But they're not all like that. Listen,
I know they're not, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how bad they are. It's how you talk to them, how you can bring them out of that, and you can make them see. You know, hang on, I'm not a bad person. I've been treated this way. You can change people in an instant.
When I hear that white working class kids are being failed at school and are not going to university, you know, you'll get your centrist civnats saying that this is a terrible thing. Look, our white working class kids are being failed. But when I look at that, I think fucking brilliant, because this is going to save them. This is what's going to save them. This is what's going to force them to generate wealth. This is what's going to force them to make something of themselves. Because I don't want them going to university and coming out stupider than they went in with a $60,000 debt full of communism.
Yeah, but only if they know how to deal with the system they're in.
No,
Only
yeah,
if
but they'll have to, because they won't
No,
eat
they won't.
otherwise.
They won't. They won't. They'll be just kind of, under the fucking wind. You've got to have a ground you come from. You can't make family. You can't. It's hard, man. I know. It's a hard reality.
What they will have is communities, because this is the point. Because if they don't have communities, they die. And this is what has happened in every situation. If you look at any war situation, let's look at the two great European wars of the last century. What people done to survive in those horrific situations was collectivize.
Yeah, but we're not in those situations anymore. We're too many numbered. We have too many reliances on, the infrastructure. They don't know how that works half the time.
Yeah, but that's falling apart.
Yeah, I know that is. I know it is, but they're falling apart with it because they're still clinging. They're not growing vegetables and getting animals.
But when the welfare system is absolute limit, and when the NHS is at its absolute limit, and all the Hong Kong people have come.
But you can't like kind of have that and say, when it's there we can have this, because you take that's like almost communist speak. Don't break it down. We've got to make people understand what we have.
But that's already happening. But that's already happening.
I hope so, Danger. I really do. I do see glimmers of it. I'm not denying, but I'm seeing both sides of it. I've seen a young man argue with a woman about not wearing a mask, and then I've seen an old woman without a mask arguing to a young man, "Why are you wearing a mask?" So,
and that's because the media want. Look, here's the thing about your progressives. The progressives actually make up only about 8% of the people. So the media have got an agenda to make it look like the majority of the population are progressives. But the majority of the population, when they're in their homes, are laughing at masks, are laughing at 2 masks. They all know that this COVID thing has been an absolute scam and an absolute sham. Of course they do. Very few, especially younger people, and thankfully, especially working class people, because they've seen what it's done to them. They've seen what it's done to their industries and to their jobs and their businesses.
All right. So in closing here, do you reckon, again, with what Britain has done to the world, is the British Empire, if it will, an ideal of thought and progressive humanity, in a way of saying this is where we better ourselves? We try, and it should be, but it doesn't work that way with law, and again with where the axe falls.
I think people of European descent are waking up to the fact that they are being absolutely had over at the moment, and everything they've created, developed, and produced is being redistributed amongst people who've done fuck all for it.
Well, I think it's been rewritten first of all, rather than just forgotten. It's been rewritten. Completely.
Mr. African, ping me an email if you want.
Cheers, Thank you, everyone.
It's always a pleasure to talk to you. Ping me an email.
Cheers.
Ta-ra, man. He's a lovely bloke. I don't want to say too much about him now while he's not here, but I think this stuff is really, really hurting him at the moment. And we've all been there. We all get there. That's why I try and push that hope thing all the time, that optimism thing all the time. Because hope and optimism aren't just things you do passively. They're things you do, they're an active thing. You have to realize that It's part of the strategy to think we can win this. And people of European descent are being pissed on. They're taking our money, they're taking our taxes, and they're giving it to people who haven't earned it. And they're basing that on the fact that we took from them. Well, the Ottomans took from other people. The Ottomans went and slaughtered something like 40 million people in the Indian subcontinent. You know, history has been a history of slavery as well. You can't just take the only specific difference that the English done to slavery that no one else done was stopped it. But you know, let's not dwell on that too much because it kind of ruins the narrative. Nice to talk to you, Plastic African. You know my email. Even if that's very kind of you, mate. You don't have to write to me. I'm not going to give you advice, but I will have a conversation with you. If you just want to vent, if you just want to tell me what's making you furious, I might be able to calm you down. I might be able to get you into some of that yoga yet. Yeah, you have to be. I'm seeing the world at the moment of people of European descent are suddenly realizing that we are now at you know the old one from the Wizard of Oz, don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain. Well, now we're literally being told to pay attention to the man behind the curtain. No, look at the illusion. Why not? Because we've been sussed, so we're going to double bluff you. Look at the man behind the curtain. Because if you look at the man up there, then we're really in trouble. It's that difference between what's happening and what they're telling us is happening. And the wrenching of truth from reality. But nice one again, Plastic African. That's lovely. Right, I'm going to show you another Johari window explanation. Okay, so have a look at this one. And again, remember, this started off in group therapy. Then it went into the corporate realm. When it goes into the corporate realm, it only does so because they realize it works, because they started making lots of money using it. They realized they could get their teams working better. It works. Let's have a look at this.
Hello, my name is Bill.
Yeah, I'll fast forward that little intro.
And this model can be used effectively in helping us understand ourselves and in building relationships with others. The Johari Window model was developed in the mid-1950s by Joseph Luft and Harry Ingram, hence the name Johari. While primarily a model of understanding between two people, it can also be used to develop a greater understanding of ourselves and to facilitate personal growth. It is also useful in discovering your strengths, your blind spots, and areas to further explore. Because of the nature of the information,
it's also, if you understand it, an incredible way that you can use to discover the strengths, blind spots, and areas to explore of governments that are pissing on you.
shared in the process, the Johari window works best in a high-trust environment. The model consists of 4 quadrants. The first quadrant is called the open area and contains information about our behavior and motivation that is known both by ourselves and by others.
Right, so do you get that? The open area. It's stuff that I know. Let's look at the House of Scrubs as a version. I was an heroin addict for most of my adult life. I know that. That's known by self. And you know that. That's an element of my open area. And we've all got open areas. You know, we know that Tito does paintings and he has live models, the lucky bastard. He knows that and we know that. Marzipan smashed his head up. He knows that and we know that. That's part of his open area. Okay?
The second quadrant is our private hidden area and contains information about ourselves, which we are unwilling to share, perhaps because of trust issues. The third.
So, the hidden area. This is stuff that we know. This is stuff that we know about ourselves, but other people don't know. This might be the fact that we've got a penchant for masturbating over pornography that is incest-based, which you might like to know scores the highest on Pornhub. Incest-based porn is Pornhub's most watched porn, right? Now, they get around the law by it being a stepmother or a stepfather, but nonetheless, so let's assume you know you wank over that stuff, but other people don't. You're not willing to tell them, maybe because of shame, maybe because of guilt, maybe because of legal reasons, maybe because you know they wouldn't fucking like you if they knew. So that's your hidden area. So we've got an open area and we've got a hidden area so far.
Third quadrant is referred to as the blind area and contains things about ourselves that are known to others but are unknown to us. Other people know these things but are not willing to share them with us for whatever reason.
Right, this is a really interesting one. This is a really interesting one. We all know someone. We all know someone who's got some weird tick that they do. Like they've got this weird tick. Every time you ask them how they are, or every time they ask you how you are, just as you're about to start talking, they tell you about themselves. So they come along and they're like, all right, John, how are you getting on? And you sort of go, yeah, not bad. And they say, my life's been a nightmare recently. And you're like, what? Hang on, you just asked me. And then when that bloke John isn't in the group, everyone else knows it. Everyone else says, right on the blackboard or the whiteboard, whoops, name something about John that he doesn't know, that we all know. And it will be something like that. Everyone else knows it about him, but he doesn't know it about him. It could be something like his breath smells, but it could also be a behavioural thing. You know, he could look at just things that they do that they don't know they're doing. They're unconscious, but we know them, we see them. So that's the blind area. So far we've got the open area that we know and other people know we do. We've got the hidden area, which are our secrets that other people don't know. Then there's the blind area where we don't know we do them, but other people do. And then there's the final area. And this is like a topography of our consciousness.
The fourth quadrant is the unknown area of behavior, opinion, or motivation that neither we nor others are aware of. Obviously, the goal of the model is to make the open area as large as possible. Probably.
Right, so sorry, we need to just skip back to that one. So the unknown area. No one else knows this. We don't even know it. These are the things that are made up of traumas from childhood. These are things that are so painful to us that we can't even confront them, that people tend to need years of therapy to even find out that it happened. Like, I'll tell you something now. A lot of you know this. A lot of you know this. That's the spirit, Leon. Utter codswallop. Yeah, I'm sure you've done the study to have such an opinion. I mean, what is it you do for a living again? And I do want an answer. So the unknown area is just things that, let me give you an example, my own example, right? The story about the magician that abused me. I went round his house an hour before the magic club because I knew where he lived. And I thought, being 12 years old, if I turn up, if I go to the magic club and the doors are locked, I will then go down Magic, what was his fucking name? Magic Ian or something. Fuck, I thought I'd remember that. Magic. Anyway, I'll remember it somewhere. I'll go round his house and say, hello, I went to the magic club and all the doors are shut. And he'll say, oh, you've come an hour early. Come in and wait. And then I'll be able to have a look at all, because he was a professional magician, so was his father. I'll be able to have a look at all his magic tricks, all these things that my £1 a week pocket money would never have been able to afford. Things like the dice box that cost like 60 quid. Tricks that were so out of my league. I'd be able to have a look at them and use them, and it would be quite amazing. And it worked a treat at first. I've told him, where's the magic club? He said, you're an hour early. He went, why don't you come in and wait? Little 12-year-old, rosy cheeks, blonde-haired boy with my little shorts on. Walked in there. I mean, I was dressed to a paedophile. Probably it was probably the equivalent of lingerie on a woman for him. Little pair of shorts with rosy little calves sticking out. Dirty bastard. Anyway, I've sat down and he put a magazine, an industry magazine about magic on my lap. And he sat right next to me. Like right next to me, legs touching. There was plenty of other seats about. And I've already thought, hang on a minute, he's a bit close, but you trust adults as kids. And so I'm flicking through this adult magazine of this industry magazine. And I can't believe it. It's like Di Vernon's new trick. All these magicians I'd heard about describing how they developed their new trick. I remember it had Paul Daniels' card warp, a trick I still do today. I'll show you card warp later. All this kind of stuff. Glad to see people making jokes about my sexual abuse in the chat. It's always good. Then, when I've turned one of the pages, and by the way, I was joking. You're free to take the piss out of me as much as you want. Then I've turned the page, and it's not the Magic magazine anymore. It's a black and white porn mag, and there's not a woman in sight. And I've picked it up, I've put it on the floor, and I went, nah, I said, I don't really want to look at that. And now I'm just turning the pages of the Magic magazine. I'm not paying any attention to it. I'm just thinking, this has gone fucking wrong. Something here has gone wrong. And then he's picked this porn mag up again and put it back on my lap, like on this other magazine. He's opened it to a specific page, obviously one he liked. And I can remember they were all bald and, horrible blokes, a lot of them. I can't remember whether there were children in the pictures. This was paedophilia from about 1982. So it was probably knocked up on a Gestetner. The definition wasn't great. It was very seedy, very grainy, but a lot of flesh and a lot of hair. And again, I've put it down on the floor, and Again, he's put it back on my lap. Now he's rubbing his cock through his trousers. He's rubbing his cock, and I noticed that his cock was, how shall we say, ready. Now here's the killer. Here's the killer. I can tell you what wallpaper that house had. I can see it now. I can tell you what carpet that house had. I can see it now. I can tell you they had one of those stereos that was in like a table. Remember them? It was like a table where you lifted the lid up and there was a stereo in it. I could tell you he had a chicken and mushroom pot noodle with a fork still in it. And it was on a record. It was on a Bacharach record, Burt Bacharach record. My understanding and memory of the details of that room are almost supernatural. No, not supernatural. What's the word I'm looking for? Almost like a superhero skills, right? Now, here's the kicker. I don't know what happened. Don't know what happened. I don't know how I got out of that house. I don't know what happened from a bloke sitting next to me rubbing his cock with a porn mag on my lap, with no way getting to that door without this grown man stopping me. I know that once I did get out, I went up to the magic club, hid in the bushes, and when all the other kids started turning up, I said to them, "Don't come here." Martin, that was his name, Martin the magician. I said, "Don't come here. Martin's not right. He's just," and I can't remember what I said to him because I can't remember what happened. Now, the point is, I don't know what happened. Did I just say, "Anyway, I've got to go. I'll see you at the Magic Club later. Yeah, sorry I weren't up for the wank and that"? Does a paedophile let an 11-year-old kid out of his house like that? I'm not sure. Because what they have to do is put the frighteners on you. Because if he didn't put the frighteners on me, I'm going to go home and tell my old man. And my old man's going to go up there with a chisel. Yeah. And so I haven't got a clue what happened. My mother reckons I never told her. And again, I reckon, I think I did. But she says I never mentioned it as a kid. I guarantee it happened, though. But going back to the Johari window, that is the unknown area. That's the area I don't know anything about. But no one else knows anything about that as well. So now we've established the 4 areas of the Johari window. What we know and others know about us. What we know and other people don't know. What we don't know but other people do know. And what we don't know and other people don't know. Apart from Martin the magician, of course. So we'll watch a little bit more of this.
Neither we nor others are aware of. Obviously, the goal of the model is to make the open area as large as possible. Probably the easiest way to expand the open area is to move more into the hidden area. This can be done through self-disclosure. You simply choose to share or expose more of yourself. Expanding the open area into the blind area involves both asking for and receiving constructive feedback. And then self-disclosure and feedback among the participants will provide the shared knowledge that will move you more and more into the unknown area. Greater trust, feedback, and the sharing of information will continue to enlarge the open area. Sharing.
So this is where it gets interesting and relevant to me talking about America and the illusion, the simulation, and the difference between the truth and what's going on. Because the way to improve yourself and the way to improve your ability to understand your society, your social realm, is to try and get your open area bigger so that what is known by you and what is known by others is bigger. It makes you stronger. So how do you do that? Well, you communicate. Self-disclosure. You communicate to other people. You tell them stuff that you know about yourself that they don't know. So your open area is bigger and your hidden area shrinks. Because the thing is, the hidden area, the blind area, and the unknown area, they're all influencing your day-to-day functioning. They're all influencing your ability to negotiate your way through your life. And if your blind area, your hidden area, and your unknown area are bigger than your open area, you're living in a dream. You hardly know what's going on because your life is being over-determined. It's being dominated by things you don't even know about yourself. And so what he said there was, one of the ways of doing it is by telling people. Tell people stuff about yourself that they don't know. And then for the blind area, he said, get some feedback. So what they do in group therapy and what they do in corporate Johari Window models is they say, right, everyone in the room, write down 3 things about John that he doesn't know about himself. And so they all do that. And then at the end of that session, they all read it to him. John, do you know you do this? John, do you know you tap your foot all the time? John, do you know you've got this twitch? John, do you know you always talk about yourself just at the split second you've just asked me about myself? So the way we get the blind area to get smaller is to ask for feedback. The way we get the hidden area smaller is to self-disclosure, to tell people. And then when we get the feedback from the blind area and when we shrinken the hidden area, we start learning more about the unknown area because we're not so dominated by secrets we refuse to tell ourselves.
Information will continue to enlarge the open area. Sharing a feedback is a lot like the green tail story. If somebody says you have a green tail, that person is crazy. If 2 people say you have a green tail, it is a conspiracy. If 7 people say you have a green tail, you turn around and look. It does not mean they are correct. It's just that they must have a reason for thinking the way they do, and you need to explore that reason.
And right there is exactly what I'm talking about what is going on in America at the moment. I'm just going to show you, just remember that green tail story. If one person says you've got a green tail, yeah, all right, see you, I've got to go and get a can of cola. If 2 people say you've got it, you think, yeah, hang on, these people are conspiring against my sanity. When 7 people tell you, you're going to have a little glance in the mirror. Now, I'm just going to show you, if I can find it, which, of course, I won't be able to now. This. And I want you to think about this now, not only in terms of self, not only in terms of collectivizing, but in terms of the way we are being presented an America. We're being presented this illusion. We're being presented an America that's got a personality, that's got a blind area, that's got a hidden area, that's got an open area, and that's got an unknown area. And we're being presented that. And there are people, we will call the government, who are choosing what elements, how much of what elements we're getting to see. They are choosing how much we're getting to see, how much they're going to communicate, how much self-disclosure they're going to have, how many self-conclusions are there going to be, how much other people's information are they going to ask for, How are they going to make America, how are they going to make its open bit as big as possible? And how are they going to make its unknown area no longer a secret and its blind area no longer dominating its life? Ed says the workings of a cult. Exactly that. Exactly that. So let's have a little look at this picture. We're nearly done here, people. I know this has been nearly 2 hours and it's been quite an heavy one. So look, now think about this in terms of America. We want to make the open area as big as possible because that makes us strong. That makes us strong. In terms, think of it in terms like this: the community, the group therapy, or the corporate group, they are better at their jobs when their open area is as big as it can be. They are at the worst of their jobs when the hidden area, the blind area, and the unknown area are as big as they can be. So when we look at the Johari window like this in terms of America, do we get any self-disclosure? Do we get the media telling us what's actually going on? Do we have an impeachment of a man who doesn't even hold office that has cost millions, if not billions of taxpayers' dollars to try and impeach a man who doesn't even hold office? No, they lie. So the hidden area gets bigger. The unknown area gets bigger. The blind area gets bigger. The open area gets smaller. Now, the blind area, which is unknown. It's unknown by Americans, but it's known by the government. How do we make the open area bigger and the blind area smaller so that Americans know more about their country? We ask the government to share with us information. Tell us the truth. Tell us what happened here. Tell us what this was about. Tell us what this was about. Let's make that blind area smaller and that open area bigger. Do we get that? Do we fuck? We get the opposite. We get a bigger blind area and we get a smaller open area. And the unknown area, well, that's just the FBI. That's just the CIA. That's just stuff that people like us never get to know about. That is the historical trauma. That is the historical trauma of a nation that at the moment is making America weak. That at the moment is making an America where the current administration says, we support China. Yeah, we support China with their Muslim concentration camps. Yeah, we support China, who are now investing in our energy after Trump made that illegal. No, because we support them. Because there's no threat from China. These people don't want to take over the world or anything. No, we're supporting them. We're helping them. It's an absolute fucking disgrace. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. Right, we'll have a look at these. Oh my God, what the hell is all that about? What? I have no idea what's happened there. I'm just going to refresh StreamYard. Give me a second. Right, we're back. Well, look, can you give me a 1 in the chat if you got anything out of that stream? Not necessarily the first half, which was the usual kind of stuff, but that Johari window, as a thing about people, but also a thing about a nation. Did people actually get that? Oh, I like the sound of that, Steve. I'm liking that lovely. Yeah, Jake, I think we've got a couple of bad actors. I don't think they've got long left. Oh yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Excellent, excellent. Very, very happy about that. Rathchild said, made me sweat. Nice one, Sally. Nice one, Illuminatus. Well, that's very, very reassuring. Yeah, Dennis, that Johari window probably be right up your Strasser, actually. But that's all very good. That's all very interesting. All right. Well, I'm glad you've all enjoyed that. It's been another cracking stream. I've got so much work to do. I'm not sure there'll be a stream later. I've got so much work to do. I will obviously do my best to get a stream done. It might be a bit late. I've got to get this work done. I've got to get it done today. I've got to start like now. So thank you. Oh, hang on. Let's deal with these entropies because I did get a couple. Let me deal with these. Chrissy said, is there anyone else who could take your stream now and again when you're too busy? Alternative presenter, surprise presenter. Just thinking out loud. I thought about it, but I didn't want to do it. And then Chrissy also says, hey, Chris, appreciation. Happy Wednesday. Thank you. And now Mac dropped £3. He said, bloody hell, entropy working for me today. Lovely. Lovely. Thank you all, people. Thank you very much. Thank you for the super chat donations as well. There's still a couple of minutes left. If you want to throw out a few quid at the stream, it's much appreciated. And I will try and see you later, but I've got to make about 4 videos with voiceovers. Lovely. Thank you, European housewife. You're always so lovely. Thank you, little bullet. Don't forget to buy some tea. Write it down. It's going to be an Ovaltine tomorrow morning, ain't it? Thank you all very much. Let me just make sure I got that bloody audio done. There you go. Look after yourselves, people, and I will see you later. Oh, hang on. Moody Edge dropped to Lady Godiva. Nice one, mate. Follow his example. Take care, people. Ta-da! Yeah.
All the world loves a lover. All the girls in every land are meant to know. Joy of loving is to live in the world of man. There's someone who's waiting for you. Soon the world will be yours for a toy. Music starts to play, night will turn to day. Darkness disappears when the one you love is near. You're in man. All the world loves the lover. All the girls in every land are meant to know. Joy of loving is to live in the world of man. There's a place that is waiting for you, a world where the best in life is free, where time is always spring, happiness is king, dreams dreams you dream come true when the one you love loves you. You're a man.
Keep an eye out on your notifications, the community tab, your Telegram. I will try and get a stream in, but I have got a shitload of work to do, and it really should have got done 2 days ago. So, good Lord. But keep an eye out, and I'll see what I can do. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Mozlab, for looking after this rowdy crowd. Ta-da!
All the world loves a lover. All the girls and every land, a man to know. Joy of loving is to live in the world of mankind.
Oh, there you go. How peculiar. I better put some lights on, get me editing software out, get the old Audacity up, and do my marketing magic.